What is up, guys and gals? Psycho Sandman here. Lock it in, unplug your mouse. This is a Shadowplay recording tutorial. So this is going to be a real quick video. Hopefully, I don't go into too much detail. But this is for the guys and gals who want to use Shadowplay if they have an NVIDIA GeForce Experience or an NVIDIA card. If they want to use Shadowplay as their streaming and recording software. Um, don't get me wrong, it's in beta and it's really good for a beta. But if I was you, I would just pick the complexity of OBS Studio right now because of the features that you get with it and settings. But nonetheless, if you guys want to use Shadowplay, there's nothing wrong with that. It's a good service, and I'm going to show you how to set that up and how to get the best recording um, settings you could possibly get. Now, I do have 2 or 3 videos on YouTube that I did use Shadowplay for, because if you watch my previous video about OBS and my settings for OBS, I could not get it to work for about a week. And I got frustrated at one point and I used Shadowplay, and that's what I was going to use before I started digging into OBS and trying to figure out what my problems were. But if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description about my OBS settings that I use to help me stream without buffering and record without pixelation. So, first thing you want to do is when you come into Shadowplay, first thing you want to do is sign in. If you don't have a profile, make one. It's real simple, few steps, and then you'll have access to your Shadowplay. So this is where your settings are going to come from, and we'll get into that in a second. First, we'll set up some hotkeys, and we'll show you your overlays. So you have an overlay for your webcam, and you get to pick where you want it. You can put it in any corner that you want to. Um, this works just like the OBS overlay, just in NVIDIA. You do have a status indicator, so if you look at the bottom left down here, actually I don't think it's showing. Not showing now. Let me see if I can get it to show up. I may have to restart my GeForce Experience here. It's kind of laggy tonight. I have a few things going right now. I'm really pushing my CPU to the limit. Let's see if I can get this thing to go. Alright, well, it's not going to show for the sake of this freaking video. So anyway, what it is a little indicator like you see. I usually keep it down here, but you can put it in any corner, it doesn't matter. It's a little indicator. So when I'm recording something, if I do a manual record and I press Alt 9, it's gonna turn that little symbol green down there. That'll show me that I'm recording. If I want to do the last 9 minutes or 10 minutes of what I recorded, I hit Alt 10, it's gonna show a little green arrow down there saying that it captured it. Now, if you want desktop capture, you got to click this. If not, you minimize your game that you're recording to your desktop, the screen will go black. It won't record your desktop. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Like in this case, it's bad because I need you guys to see my desktop. But if you just want somebody to see your gameplay and nothing else, you might want to leave that unchecked. And then of course, you have your FPS counter, the NVIDIA Shadowplay FPS counter, and you can put it in either corner that you want to. Your microphone, you can go always on or push to talk. I use always on, but I just set my inside my Windows settings down here, I just set my audio levels down so it doesn't pick up everything. And I am using a headphone mic, so a couple weeks I'll be getting a Yeti, and that's going to change everything. So it's probably going to take me some time to tweak my audio settings again, but it is what it is. We're YouTubers, it's what we do. Keyboard shortcuts. I got some keyboard shortcuts, and the way I remember it is my OBS Studio shortcuts are done with Control F whatever, Control F1, Control F2. My keyboard shortcuts for NVIDIA are done with Alt. That way I don't get them confused. They're pretty much set default, except instead of using Control, I use Alt. So Alt F10 will save the last 9 minutes recorded. You can change this. I'll show you how to change it. Saves the last 9 minutes of gameplay. So if I'm just playing and not recording, just playing on my off time, and I do something really cool in a game, or I do something that could help somebody in a game, I'll just hit Alt F10 and catch the last 9 minutes, and then I can post that to YouTube after I edit it. Alt F10, you can toggle manual recording on and off. So if I'm getting ready to make a video, I can hit Alt F9 record my gameplay footage of what I need to, and then hit Alt F9 again to stop my recording. Alt F8 is for toggle broadcasting, and I'll show you how to set that up when we get over here. So if I'm ready to stream to Twitch, I got my game up, or YouTube, I got my game up ready to go. Hit Alt F8, it'll start streaming, start broadcasting. You can pause it by hitting Alt F7, and then if you got to step away for a few seconds, and then Alt F7 again, and it'll go back to broadcasting. Alt F6 will toggle your webcam on and off. So if you got something going on and you don't want nobody to see, hit Alt F6 or whatever your hotkey is, and you can turn that off, that webcam off, and then hit it again. Push to talk is I haven't set this as default, but I'm always on my microphone, so I don't use push to talk. And then Alt F11, I can toggle my FPS counter. I do use Fraps sometimes, so sometimes Fraps and the Shadowplay FPS counter will show up here, and I can't tell, so I'll just turn this one off, Alt F11, and it'll kill this counter. So that's definitely set you some hotkeys up so you can have quick access to when you need it the most. So your recordings, save locations. So I use mine to my F drive, it exported files, and then temporary files, I just left that as default. This is what I'm worried about. I need to find my files quick when I need to edit them and get them on YouTube. So I got it just exported videos, and I'd usually throw all my videos into that one folder that I need to edit, and then I'll drop them into my Power Director and edit them. So now we'll move to Shadowplay, and I'll show you the settings of what you want. So right now I'm in streaming mode. This is Twitch. So when you get to the screen, it won't look like this. It'll have a login section right here. And so you log in, it'll take you to Twitch, and Twitch will ask you if you can authorize NVIDIA to make changes or blah, 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 whatever. Just say, okay, log in. It's going to link your Twitch account to your NVIDIA GeForce account. That's why you got to make an account. At first, you're not going to be logged in. Make an account, and then it'll link to your Twitch. I don't use Twitch, or I don't use Shadowplay for Twitch streaming. I'll use OBS, but you can definitely do it. Now here are your options here. You got shadow and manual. You got shadow and you got manual. Now when I click this, it'll probably show up at the bottom there. You see it just showed up at the bottom. So that's the little icon I was telling you about. Now when I start recording, it'll turn green inside of there. And if I do a capture of the past 10 minutes, it'll show a green arrow. So I use shadow and manual because it gives me options for both. Like I said before, if I'm not recording and I catch awesome gameplay, I can hit the shadow and it'll capture it. And I'm in manual mode too now. I can hit off Alt F9 and do my YouTube videos. So it's good to be dynamic and have your choices right here. Shadow time. What this is the time that it's gonna do. Let's see if I can get that to 10. I don't know if I couldn't do it last time. I had it set at 10. I don't know what happened. There it goes, 10. Okay, we'll leave it there. I think 10 is a good medium. You can take it all the way down to 1 minute, I think up to 20. So what this is it's going to take the past 10 minutes of your gameplay, and if you hit the Alt F10, it's going to record the past 10 minutes, and that's what shadow time is. And you can see how much it's going to be. 10 minutes is 3.8 gigabytes. So it's up to your discretion. If you want to go 5, even 1, if you want to go all the way up to 20, you got those options. So your quality. Go into custom. I wouldn't recommend any of these three. Go into custom. This is where your settings are going to be tweaked at. So you have options here. You can go in-game resolution. You can go 4K, 1440, 1080, or 720. Leave it at in-game first. See if that works for you. If you're running a 1440p monitor and you're getting some laggy issues, maybe step it down to 1080p. And if you're on 1080p and you're getting some pixelation or laggy issues, step it down to 720p. I doubt that you have a problem. Just leave in-game resolution. It's fine as long as you set your bitrate at 50,000. It's 50. It's equivalent to 50,000. Set your bitrate there. I was playing with it the other day and brought it all the way up to 130, and my God, it was terrible. It was terrible. I brought it down to, they say 40,000 to 50,000, and Shadowplay is good, but 50,000 is your default here, just like OBS. If you do OBS, you want your bitrate at 50,000 too. So leave your bitrate 50,000, and you'll have a wonderful experience if you're going to use Shadowplay as your game capture. Frame rate, you have two options here, 30 or 60. You can play with both. 60 works for me. It's pretty. If you're running a 1080p display and you're having issues, like your computer's not that good, and you're having issues, you're having real spiky frame rates or your pixelation, don't run 10. You can run 1080p, but just drop it down to 30 FPS. See if that helps. Play with your bitrate a little bit. Move it, slide it up, slide it down some. Um, if all else fails, drop your resolution down a level. I wouldn't recommend. I would stay in HD. 720p is pretty much going to work for everybody. Um, and just play with your frame rates. If you're running 1080p at 30 FPS at 50,000 on your bitrate and you're getting some spikiness, drop it down to 720p, move it up to 60 frames per second, and then try recording again. And it may fix everything. It may not, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to have any issues if you're going to use this. It's pretty decent software. It's just in beta. And then your audio options, this is where it's lacking because you don't have very much audio. Like you don't have a noise gate option. You don't have, um, this is all your options. You have two. You have in-game, you have in-game and microphone. That's it. You can't adjust your microphone levels to pull background noise out or pull background noise in. There's no options for that. The only thing you can do to tweak this is inside your playback devices. And this is why this software is, I don't recommend it, but it's still doable. Just the audio, it's lacking in the audio right now, but it's coming along. Like I said a few times before, it's beta. It won't be beta forever. It's coming through, and more than likely, when this comes as a full version of software, I will be using this over OBS. Definitely using this over OBS. I personally don't think my OBS recordings look as good as my Shadowplay recordings. I've tweaked as many settings as I could in OBS, and I just don't see that it's better. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about the OBS quality. It's great, it's awesome, but I'm taking the trade-off for all the options. I'll take the trade-off, get all the options, and I'll just take a minor hit in video quality just to have all those options at my fingertips. So if you guys are kind of leery about OBS and it's a little much, I mean, it is intimidating software. It's a lot put into it. There's a lot of settings, a lot of things. If you want to get going on YouTube quick and you want to get some videos up, go use this Shadowplay. Follow these steps I showed you. Set everything exactly how I have it. Set your hotkeys how you want it. I mean, this is personal preference. This is just me. But make sure all these settings in this little window right here are how I have them. If you want to stream, make sure you go set your Twitch thing up. It's going to ask you for your stream key. Make sure nobody gets that. You do not want anybody to have that stream key because if you do, it's not going to be pretty. They can ruin your Twitch channel. They can ruin your YouTube too if they wanted to. And for me personally, I run 720p, 60 FPS on Twitch, and I don't have any issues. So this has just been a quick tutorial for you guys on setting up your Shadowplay if you don't want to use OBS. Um, I like it. It's good, but I prefer OBS right now. You may be different, but there's nothing wrong with that. So if this video helped you guys in any way, please drop me a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. I'll reply to all that I can. And if you want more footage videos like this or gameplay videos as well, remember subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. And I'm Psycho Sandman, and I'll see you guys in the next one.